The icy surface of Europa glittered under the distant light of Jupiter, its frozen plains stretching endlessly in every direction. Dr. Samantha Chen squinted through the reinforced dome of the research station, her breath fogging the thick glass as she leaned closer. Something was different today. A faint, pulsing glow emanated from beneath the ice, barely visible but unmistakably there. "Dr. Reeves," she called out, her voice tinged with excitement and a hint of trepidation. "I think you need to see this." Dr. James Reeves, the expedition leader, hurried over, his weathered face creasing with concern. "What is it, Sam?" Samantha pointed to the anomaly, her finger tracing the subtle patterns of light that danced beneath the frozen surface. "It started about an hour ago. At first, I thought it was just a reflection, but it's getting stronger." Reeves frowned, his scientific curiosity piqued. "Gather the team. We need to investigate this immediately." Within the hour, a small group of researchers stood at the edge of the anomaly, their exosuits gleaming in the ethereal light. Specialized drilling equipment hummed to life, cutting through the thick ice with practiced precision. As they descended into the newly formed tunnel, the air grew heavy with anticipation. At the bottom, they found themselves in a vast subterranean cavern. The source of the light became clear. A massive, otherworldly structure pulsed with energy, its surface covered in intricate, swirling patterns that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "My God," whispered Dr. Elena Volkov, the team's xenoarchaeologist. This is beyond anything we've ever encountered." As they approached the structure, a section of its surface rippled and parted, revealing an entrance. Inside, they discovered a chamber filled with advanced technology, far beyond human understanding. At its center stood a pedestal, upon which rested a small crystalline object. Dr. Chen reached out, her hand trembling slightly as she picked up the crystal. As soon as her fingers made contact, the entire structure hummed to life. Holographic displays flickered into existence around them, showing star charts, complex equations, and images of strange alien beings. "This is a database," Reeves breathed, his eyes wide with wonder. "An alien database. The knowledge contained here, it could change everything." As the team began to explore the vast trove of information, they quickly realized the magnitude of their discovery. The crystal contained not just scientific knowledge, but the history of a long-lost alien civilization, one that had seeded the galaxy with life eons ago. But their excitement was short-lived. As they delved deeper into the data, they uncovered a warning, a message left behind by the ancient aliens. It spoke of a great threat, a parasitic species that consumed entire civilizations, spreading across the galaxy like a plague. The aliens had created sanctuaries like Europa, hiding their technology and knowledge in the hopes that one day a worthy species would find it and use it to combat the coming darkness. As the implications of their discovery sank in, a new signal caught their attention. Something massive had entered the solar system, heading straight for Earth. Back on the planet's surface, chaos erupted as the first alien ships appeared in the sky. They were sleek, almost organic in design, their hulls shimmering with an iridescent sheen. A message was broadcast worldwide. "People of Earth, we are the Galactic Confederation. Your species has been deemed worthy of joining our ranks. Prepare for integration." In the days that followed, humanity found itself thrust onto the galactic stage. The Confederation, a collective of advanced alien races, welcomed Earth with open arms, promising to share technology and knowledge beyond human imagination. But Dr. Chen and her team knew the truth. The crystal had shown them that the Confederation was not what it seemed. While they presented themselves as benevolent guides, their true nature was far more sinister. They were the very threat the ancient aliens had warned about, consuming civilizations not through violence, but through subtle manipulation and control. In a secret meeting with world leaders, the Europa team presented their findings. The decision was made to play along with the Confederation's offer while secretly preparing for the inevitable conflict to come. As Earth's representatives met with the Confederation Council for the first time, Dr. Chen stood among them, the crystalline database hidden safely away. She watched as humanity took its first official steps into a larger universe, all while knowing that the greatest challenge in human history lay ahead. The Confederation leaders, tall, ethereal beings with luminescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the depths of space, spoke of unity and progress. But Samantha could see the hunger lurking beneath their benevolent facade. She thought of the warning left behind by the ancient aliens and steeled herself for what was to come. As the meeting concluded and Earth was officially welcomed into the Galactic Confederation, Samantha exchanged a knowing glance with Dr. Reeves. The real work was just beginning. In secret labs across the globe, human scientists would begin to unravel the mysteries contained within the alien crystal, preparing defenses against a threat that the rest of humanity didn't even know existed. The stars had once seemed so distant, so unreachable. Now, as Samantha looked up at the night sky, she saw them not with wonder, but with determination. Humanity's true test awaited among those glittering points of light, and they would be ready. 5 years had passed since humanity's induction into the Galactic Confederation. On the surface, Earth had flourished. Sleek skyscrapers of alien design now punctuated city skylines, their gleaming surfaces adorned with holographic displays. Anti-gravity vehicles zipped between buildings, while matter replicators had all but eliminated scarcity. Dr. Samantha Chen stood at the window of her lab in the newly constructed Terran Sciences Division, her reflection overlaying the bustling cityscape below. Despite the apparent progress, a sense of unease gnawed at her. The Confederation's generosity came with strings attached, invisible but ever tightening. Another day, another breakthrough we can't share, Dr. James Reeves sighed, joining her at the window. His once dark hair had gone completely grey, a testament to the stress of the past few years. Samantha nodded, her eyes fixed on a distant Confederation cruiser hovering above the city. "They're getting suspicious, James." The overseer asked again about our quantum research. The quantum entanglement technology they had developed in secret, based on the knowledge from the Europa crystal, was humanity's ace in the hole. It allowed for instantaneous communication and even matter transportation across vast distances, free from Confederation monitoring. "We knew this day would come," Reeves replied, his voice low. "How much longer can we keep this up?" Before Samantha could answer, an alarm blared through the lab. Red lights flashed as security protocols engaged, locking down the facility. "Unauthorized access detected in Sector 7, an AI voice announced calmly. Samantha's heart raced. Sector 7 housed their most sensitive research, including prototypes of the quantum entanglement devices. She and Reeves sprinted towards the sector, their security clearances allowing them through the rapidly sealing doors. They arrived to find a scene of chaos. 2 Confederation officials, their luminescent skin glowing with agitation, stood amidst a team of human scientists. One of the aliens held a small pulsing device, a quantum entanglement prototype. Dr. Chen, Dr. Reeves, the taller alien, Overseer Zaxel, addressed them coolly. "Would you care to explain why you've been developing technology far beyond your approved research parameters?" Samantha's mind raced, searching for a plausible explanation, but she knew the game was up. The Confederation had discovered their secret, and with it, humanity's chance at independence was slipping away. Suddenly, the prototype in Zaxel's hand sparked and emitted a high-pitched whine. The alien dropped it in surprise, and in that moment of confusion, Samantha acted on instinct. She lunged forward, snatching the device from the floor. "Now, James," she shouted. Reeves slammed his hand on a hidden panel in the wall. Klaxons blared as emergency protocols engaged. Energy fields sprang up, separating the humans from the Confederation officials. "This is treason," Zaxel hissed, his eyes flashing with anger. "You cannot hope to stand against the Confederation." Samantha met his gaze, her resolve hardening. "We're not standing against you. was standing up for ourselves. With that, she activated the quantum device. In a flash of blue light, she, Reeves, and the human scientists vanished, leaving the bewildered Confederation officials behind. They rematerialized in a secret facility deep beneath the Appalachian Mountains. As the disorientation of quantum teleportation faded, Samantha took in her surroundings. The cavernous space hummed with energy, filled with advanced technology that melded human ingenuity with the ancient knowledge from Europa. General Laura Hayes, the head of Earth's Covert Defense Initiative, strode towards them. "I take it Plan B is now in effect," she said grimly. Samantha nodded. "The Confederation knows. We need to move to Phase 2 immediately." Alarms began to sound throughout the facility. On massive screens lining the walls, they watched as Confederation ships descended on major cities across the globe. The aliens' benevolent mask had fallen away, revealing the threat that had been lurking beneath the surface all along. "All units, this is not a drill. Operation Quantum Shield is now active," General Hayes commanded into a comm unit. "May God help us all." Across the planet and in hidden bases throughout the solar system, humanity's secret preparations sprang into action. Quantum entanglement devices, hidden in every major population center, activated in concert. Shimmering energy fields enveloped cities, deflecting the Confederation's attempts to lock on with their teleportation technology. In orbit, stealth satellites shed their disguises, revealing advanced weaponry reverse-engineered from the Europa crystal's data. They opened fire on the Confederation fleet, catching the alien ships off guard. The element of surprise gave humanity a momentary advantage, but Samantha knew it wouldn't last. The Confederation's technological superiority and vast resources would soon come to bear. This was just the opening move in what would become a grueling conflict. As the battle raged above, Samantha turned her attention to a holographic display of the solar system. "We need to activate the Helios Protocol," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of the decision. Reeves looked at her sharply. "Sam, are you sure? Once we cross that line—" "We're already across it, James," she cut him off. "It's time to show the Confederation what humanity is truly capable of." General Hayes nodded grimly and input a series of commands. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations sprang to life. On Mercury, massive solar collectors began to draw in unprecedented amounts of energy. On the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, quantum relay stations activated, forming a vast network. In the Oort cloud, where the Confederation had no presence, humanity's secret weapon waited. A massive station, built over the past 5 years in utmost secrecy, powered up. It was the culmination of the quantum entanglement technology, capable of harnessing and redirecting stellar energies across vast distances. As the Confederation pressed their attack on Earth, a blinding beam of energy lanced out from the Oort cloud station. It struck the largest Confederation ship, slicing through its advanced shields as if they were paper. The massive vessel erupted in a spectacular explosion, momentarily turning night to day in the skies above Earth. The Confederation fleet faltered, clearly shocked by this display of power from a race they had considered primitive just years before. Taking advantage of their confusion, Earth's defenders pressed their attack, quantum-entangled weapons striking with deadly precision. But even as they celebrated this initial victory, Samantha knew the real battle was just beginning. The Confederation would regroup, would bring reinforcements. This was not just a fight for Earth, but a struggle that would ripple across the galaxy. As reports flooded in from around the solar system, Samantha felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. The knowledge they had gained, the terrible power they now wielded, it all traced back to that fateful discovery on Europa. They had unlocked the legacy of an ancient civilization, and in doing so, had catapulted humanity into a war they never wanted but now had to win. Dr. Chen, a young scientist, called out, her voice tinged with awe and fear. "We're picking up quantum fluctuations throughout the Kuiper Belt. Massive ships, thousands of them. It's the Confederation's main fleet." Samantha closed her eyes for a moment, steeling herself for what was to come. When she opened them again, they blazed with determination. "All right," she said, her voice carrying across the now silent command center. "Let's show them what humanity can do." As the greatest conflict in human history escalated, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. Humanity, long considered a backwater species, was about to shake the very foundations of galactic society. The Confederation had awakened a sleeping giant, and in the crucible of this war, the true potential of the human spirit would be unleashed. The vastness of space was ablaze with the fury of war. Quantum-entangled energy beams crisscrossed the void, while swarms of nanite missiles sought out their targets with unerring precision. The Sol system had become the epicenter of a conflict that would decide the fate of the galaxy. In the heart of humanity's hidden command center, Dr. Samantha Chen stood before a holographic representation of the battlefield. Her eyes, rimmed with exhaustion, darted from one engagement to another. The Confederation's main fleet had arrived in full force, their numbers seemingly endless. "Status report," she demanded, her voice hoarse from days of constant strategizing. General Hayes, her uniform rumpled and stained with coffee, stepped forward. "We're holding, but barely. The quantum shield is taxed to its limits. Beijing and New Delhi have already fallen. But," she added with a grim smile, "we're making them bleed for every inch." Dr. Reeves, hunched over a console nearby, looked up. "Sam, the Europa crystal is pulsing again. I think it's trying to tell us something." Samantha hurried over, her heart racing. The crystal, the link to the ancient aliens who had come before, had been silent since the war began. As she approached, its glow intensified, and suddenly, the holographic display shifted. The battlefield disappeared, replaced by a swirling galactic map. Specific points lit up, forming a complex network across the stars. "It's a map," Samantha breathed, her mind racing. "No, not just a map. It's a blueprint." As they watched, the display zoomed in on one of the points, revealing a massive structure hidden in the depths of space. It was a station, far more advanced than anything they had built, pulsing with the same energy signature as the Europa crystal. "There are more out there," Reeves said, his voice filled with awe. "The ancients didn't just leave us knowledge, they left us a network." Samantha's mind whirled with the possibilities. If we can activate these stations, link them with our quantum entanglement technology, we could turn the tide of the war, General Hayes finished, a spark of hope in her eyes. But as quickly as the hope had come, reality crashed back in. An alarm blared, and the holographic display snapped back to the Sol system. A massive Confederation warship, easily twice the size of anything they'd seen before, had just emerged from quantum space. "Attention humans," a booming voice echoed through every communication channel. "This is High Command of Exalia of the Galactic Confederation. Your resistance, while admirable, is futile. Surrender now, and we may yet show mercy." Samantha exchanged glances with her team. They all knew that mercy from the Confederation meant subjugation at best, extinction at worst. "You know our answer, Commander," Samantha replied, her voice steady. "Humanity will never surrender." "So be it." Vexalia's voice was cold. "Then let this be your final lesson in the futility of defiance." The massive warship began to power up, its hull glowing with building energy. Whatever weapon it was preparing, it had the potential to devastate Earth's defenses in a single strike. "All units, focus fire on that ship." General Hayes barked into the comm. Every human vessel and weapons platform turned their attention to the looming threat, pouring everything they had into their attacks. But it wasn't enough. The Confederation warships' shields held, the combined firepower of humanity barely leaving a scratch. As desperation began to set in, Samantha's mind raced. The ancient network, the quantum entanglement technology, the Europa crystal, there had to be a way to bring it all together. "James," she said suddenly, turning to Reeves. "The crystal. What if we use it as a focal point for the quantum network? Ree's eyes widened as he grasped her idea. It could work, but sound the energy required. It could destroy the crystal. We might lose our only link to the ancients. Samantha looked at the holographic display, at the billions of lives hanging in the balance. We don't have a choice. Prepare for quantum amplification. As the team rushed to implement her plan, Samantha took the Europa crystal in her hands. Its cool surface pulsed with ancient power, and for a moment, she felt a profound connection to the long-lost civilization that had created it. "I hope we're worthy of your legacy," she whispered to the crystal. The Confederation warship's weapon reached full charge, ready to unleash devastation. But at that very moment, Samantha placed the crystal into the quantum amplification chamber. Energy surged through the hidden network humanity had built, channeling the power of distant stars. The Europa crystal glowed brighter and brighter, until it was painful to look at directly. Samantha input the final command, linking the amplified quantum network to their defensive grid. A blinding flash erupted from Earth, expanding outward at impossible speed. It washed over the human fleet, supercharging their weapons and shields. When it reached the Confederation forces, their ships began to falter, quantum fields disrupted by the overwhelming surge of energy. The massive warship fired its weapon, a beam of unimaginable power lancing towards Earth. But it met the amplified quantum field and shattered, the energy dispersing harmlessly into space. For a moment, everything was silent. Then, across the battlefield, Confederation ships began to lose power, their advanced technology overwhelmed by the quantum surge. The human fleet, energized and emboldened, pressed their advantage. In the command center, cheers erupted as reports of Confederation retreats flooded in. But Samantha's attention was fixed on the quantum amplification chamber. The Europa crystal had gone dark, its power expended in that final, magnificent burst. As the tide of battle turned decisively in humanity's favor, Samantha felt a mix of triumph and sorrow. They had won a crucial victory, perhaps even turned the course of the war, but at what cost? The crystal, their link to the ancients, was silent. Yet even as she mourned its loss, Samantha realized that its final gift might be the key to humanity's survival and to unlocking the full potential of the ancient network scattered across the galaxy. As the Confederation fleet retreated, breaking apart under the relentless assault of the empowered human forces, Samantha turned to her team. Their faces, though wary, shone with a mixture of disbelief and hope. "This isn't the end," she said, her voice carrying the weight of their hard-won victory and the challenges yet to come. "It's just the beginning. We've proven that humanity can stand against the greatest power in the galaxy. Now we need to show them, and ourselves, what we can build in the aftermath." As reports of victory poured in from across the solar system, Samantha's gaze turned to the stars. Out there, the ancient network awaited, holding secrets and power beyond imagination. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, bloodily but unbowed. The real journey, Samantha knew, was just beginning. The Confederation would return, and Earth would need allies in the battles to come. But for the first time since the war began, the future held not just challenge, but boundless possibility. In the darkness of space, the remnants of the Confederation fleet limped away, leaving behind a changed solar system and a humanity that had finally awakened to its true potential. 5 years had passed since the Battle of Sol, as it came to be known throughout the galaxy. Earth, once a backwater planet on the fringes of galactic society, now stood as a beacon of resistance against Confederation tyranny. The scars of war were still visible on the planet's surface, but they were matched by monuments to human resilience and ingenuity. Dr. Samantha Chen stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive structure orbiting Earth at the L1 Lagrange point. The station served as both the defensive outpost and a symbol of humanity's newfound place in the cosmos. As she gazed out at the star-studded expanse, her mind wandered to the journey that had brought them here. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Dr. James Rees said, joining her at the window. His hair had gone completely white, but his eyes still sparkled with the same curiosity that had driven their initial discovery on Europa. Samantha nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come. Their conversation was interrupted by a soft chime. A holographic display materialized before them, showing a galactic map dotted with glowing points of light. The Nexus network is online, Dr. Chen, an AI voice announced. All ancient stations are now synchronized with our quantum entanglement grid. The Nexus network, as they had come to call it, was the fruition of the blueprint left behind by the ancient aliens. Over the past 5 years, humanity had raced to activate and link these stations, each one a treasure trove of advanced technology and knowledge. "Thank you, AI," Samantha replied to the AI. "Any word from our expeditionary fleets?" The map zoomed in on various sectors, highlighting human ships venturing into the unknown. "Fleet Alpha has made contact with the Zarfaxi Collective," AOIA reported. "They are expressing interest in an alliance against the Confederation. Fleet Beta has discovered a young spacefaring species in the Orion Arm, seeking protection from Confederation expansion." Reeves shook his head in amazement. Protectors of the galaxy, who would have thought? As they discussed the reports, a priority alert flashed across the display. General Hayes' face appeared, her expression grave. "Doctors, we've got a situation. Our deep space sensors have detected a massive quantum disturbance. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." The holographic display shifted, showing a roiling mass of energy at the edge of charted space. As they watched, the disturbance began to take shape, resolving into a vast fleet of ships unlike any they had encountered. "It's not the Confederation," Hayes continued, her voice tense. "We're picking up energy signatures similar to the ancient stations, but far more powerful. Whatever's coming, it's connected to the civilization that left us the Europa crystal." Samantha's heart raced. Was this the return of the ancient aliens, or something else entirely? Before they could speculate further, a transmission cut through all channels, broadcast in a language that seemed to resonate on a quantum level. Aria's voice, usually calm and measured, held a note of awe. "I'm translating now. It says, 'To the inheritors of our legacy, the time of judgment is at hand.'" As the message repeated, Samantha and Reeves exchanged looks of both excitement and trepidation. This was the moment they had both dreamed of and feared since their discovery on Europa, contact with the progenitors of the technology that had propelled humanity to the stars. "All stations, this is Dr. Chen," Samantha broadcast, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "Initiate first contact protocols, and prepare for anything." The next few hours were a flurry of activity as Earth and its colonies prepared for the arrival of the ancient fleet. Defense grids were charged, diplomats were briefed, and every scrap of knowledge gleaned from the Nexus network was reviewed for any clue about their mysterious visitors. As the fleet drew closer, more details became clear. The ships were works of art, their designs blending organic forms with impossibly advanced technology. They moved with a grace that defied known physics, leaving shimmering quantum trails in their wake. Finally, a single ship detached from the fleet, approaching Harmony Station. As it drew near, a figure materialized on the observation deck, a being of pure energy, its form shifting and flowing like liquid light. "Greetings, children of Earth," the being spoke, its voice resonating not through air, but directly in their minds. "We are the precursors, the ones you know as the Ancients. We have watched your progress with great interest." Samantha stepped forward, her voice barely above a whisper. We welcome you. We have so many questions." The being's form rippled, a gesture that somehow conveyed both amusement and approval. "And we have answers, young one. But first, you must understand the gravity of your situation. The legacy we left behind was not just a gift, it was a test." The being waved a hand, and the holographic display came to life, showing scenes from across the galaxy. Worlds torn apart by war, species enslaved or driven to extinction, the Confederation's iron grip tightening on all they surveyed. The Confederation was once like you, the precursor continued, young, full of potential, but they failed our test, twisting our gifts into tools of oppression. We had hoped that by leaving our technology scattered and hidden, a worthy inheritor would rise to challenge them. Samantha's mind reeled as she began to understand. You've been guiding us all along. The crystal, the stations, it was all to prepare us for this moment. The being nodded, its form pulsing with approval. You have shown resourcefulness, courage, and most importantly, compassion. Even in the face of extinction, you chose to protect others, to build rather than merely destroy. But now, the precursor's tone grew serious. You face a greater challenge. The Confederation musters its full might, preparing to extinguish the flame of resistance you have ignited. You stand at a crossroads, not just for your species, but for all life in the galaxy. The holographic display shifted again, showing a vision of two possible futures. In one, Earth stood as the center of a thriving, diverse galactic community. In the other, the planet lay in ruins, the Confederation's flag planted in its ashes. The choice, as always, is yours, the precursor said. Will you rise to become the guardians its galaxy needs? Or will you falter, allowing tyranny to reign unchecked? Samantha looked to Reeves, to General Hayes, to all those who had fought and sacrificed to bring them to this point. In their eyes she saw not fear, but determination. We choose to rise, Samantha declared, her voice ringing with conviction. Not for power, not for glory, but for the promise of a better future for all. The precursor's form blazed with brilliant light. Then let the final test begin. We will share with you the full extent of our knowledge and power. Use it wisely, for the fate of countless worlds now rests in your hands. As the being spoke, Samantha felt a rush of information flooding her mind. Secrets of the universe, technologies beyond imagination, the collected wisdom of a civilization millions of years old, all of it now at humanity's fingertips. The precursor began to fade, its final words echoing in their thoughts. Remember, children of Earth, with great power comes great responsibility. The galaxy watches and waits. Show them the true potential of humanity. As the being vanished, Samantha turned to face her team, her eyes shining with the light of newfound knowledge and purpose. Well, she said, a smile spreading across her face, we've got work to do. In the days that followed, Earth became a beacon of hope for the galaxy. Armed with the precursor's legacy and driven by an indomitable spirit, humanity prepared to face its greatest challenge yet. Ships were built, alliances were forged, and a message of freedom spread from world to world. The final confrontation with the Confederation loomed on the horizon. But this time, Earth did not stand alone. A coalition of free worlds rallied behind the banner of hope that humanity had raised. As Samantha looked out at the vast fleet assembling in Earth's orbit, a magnificent array of ships from 100 different species, she felt a profound sense of purpose. They had come so far from that icy moon of Jupiter, from the first discovery that had set them on this path. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger, the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance. But Samantha knew that whatever challenges they faced, humanity would face them together, not just with their newfound allies, but with the spirits of all those who had sacrificed to bring them to this moment. As the fleet prepared to depart, to meet the Confederation in a battle that would decide the fate of all, Samantha whispered a quiet promise to the stars. We will not fail you. Not the precursors, not our allies, not the countless worlds counting on us. This is humanity's quantum leap, and we will see it through to the end. With a flash of quantum energy, the fleet vanished into the depths of space, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of a galaxy on the brink of transformation. The echoes of terror, once a lonely call in the cosmic dark, now resonated across the stars, a symphony of freedom, unity, and the indomitable human spirit.